next one. Um, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like what type of engineer you are, anything like that?
I work on plasma engineering technologies for what was formerly NASA,
Wow.
which has changed hands twice, by the way. You people who are curious about the direction, it's not great.
So who does it change hands to, Timothy?
Elon Musk takes it over. No one's going to believe me.
Wow.
I always have to say that when I share this. No one's going to believe the future. The future is mostly unbelievable at this point. If I had looked back when I was a young whippersnapper in Pamela's age group, I would say that, yeah, none of what he's saying is true and is complete, you know, bollocks, as you would say.
That's the Irish word. I love it. Can you tell us a little bit about plasma? Let's say I don't know anything about what plasma means or where it comes from or how it's generated. Just give us a little bit of something that kind of explains it, but you don't have to go into too much detail.
Plasma's in everything.
Okay.
Plasma is an energy field that's always present, and it is etheric in nature if you want to consider the four elements, but it works because of electricity. And when any ion substance or anything that's ionic is excitable by the electromagnetic energy field around it, the electricity gets stronger, it can be harnessed, it becomes plasma at that point and can be generated for anything. NASA uses plasma for plasma engines. They call them propulsion engines, and they can go well 35 miles per 3 seconds, I'd say right now, or maybe 34 in your timeline.
Wow.
We've got that doubled by now. So rockets are much faster and not necessarily safer, but faster. We've had some problems.
Okay.
But I'd say that so Russian engineers were the first ones to master that, and then Americans, as usual, try to take it over and say it was theirs. And then NASA began to use that technology and create propulsion engines for their rockets.
Thank you very much. That's a pretty clear explanation. Thank you, Timothy.
Plasma's in your blood as well, and it's a
Yeah.
similar premise
Okay, cool.
because of electrons.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first question we have here is, what year did a plasma engine vehicle first become available to the public?
Just this year, 2033. That's why Pamela chose to look at this year.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you very much. What equipment should we have at home in times of crisis? Is the next question.
Everyone around the world should have enough water, in particular, depending upon where you live, and food staples, and the standard things that you would typically prepare. You understand prepping, and it only takes a quick Google search. I don't want to waste your time, but prepare for at least 3 days.
Okay, thanks, Timothy. The next question is, what are the biggest medical technologies or innovations that have become available?
So much. The car. What I can tell you about EVs, electric vehicles, is that they were not tested to the degree that they should. And now, in your time frame, they finally are being tested, and it's been determined that there is a lot more uh, exposure towards an energy field that would be too much exposure in the electromagnetic energy field, too much magnetism, too much radiation. There's a lot of things going on because you've got to look at all the possible ways that having an electric energy field around you right up close to your dash could damage you. Not that everybody has it there, but it still comes into the car significantly. Not every car is built the same, obviously. Some electric vehicles have it in their trunk instead, but that's still going to seep through your car. You have that amount of energy. You have the energy in the field around you from uh, what do you the radio fields. You have energy from Wi-Fi signals. You have electromagnetic energy everywhere, and it's becoming stronger. Every year or two, someone uses something that harnesses the electromagnetic energy field further. And eventually, if we don't test it further, you're going to begin to have a lot of damage from these vehicles. So that's in testing now. And it's just starting to be determined that electric vehicles are not safe. The majority of them, unless they came out in 2024, are not safe. So you need to do an upgrade. That's the first thing I could say. And even then, there were some things found in some of the Tesla engines. I'm sorry to rat out good old Elon Musk, but some of those things weren't exactly safe either. And he had to make some recalls and make adjustments. Um, and all of the electrical engineers for his company had to shift very quickly in those times. So that was no longer safe. Hybrids had the same issue. Sure, you could switch over to gas, but for how long? So in 2033, we had the first plasma energy based engine available, and it is fast. The only thing I can tell you is that it's too fast for young hands, as I tell my 21-year-old. It's like I told him he wanted one of these things, and I said, I'm not going to give a Bugatti to a monkey.
Thanks for that answer, Timothy.
I'm not sure if it addressed your question.
I didn't know you talked about all the different things there. And there's loads more questions as well, kind of similar to that. The next question is from 2024 and forward. Does social security payments continue to be paid out in full?
We had some moments. We had some moments in 2030, some more moments in 2031, another huge moment in January of 2033 where Americans have gotten in so much debt, but at the same time, there's been we've made better allies. So in this country, I don't want to make this an American channeling, but in my country, Social Security has been a continuation, although we've had some moments where it's been put on hold for a few days, and that's been mildly inconvenient for people, to say the least.
Thank you for that. The next question, I think you may have answered some of it. How plasma is created, and do we already have this technology on Earth in 2024?
Again, plasma is created because you have an ionic substance and it's activated by a highly charged electric energy field. Or, it could be electromagnetic, or it could be electricity as a whole is charged up because of the ionic field and vice versa, and it becomes available to be sourced as plasma. That is, or plasma energy.
Can I ask a silly question, Timothy? How is it harnessed? So if there's
how's it harnessed? That's not a silly question.
Okay.
So there would be a series of coils or rare frequency antennae or there's various antennae that circle around a core.
Okay.
And it charges that ionic substance in that way, and then you create propulsion.
Okay. Thank you for that. And the second part of their question is, do we already have that technology on Earth?
Oh, of course we do, and it's being tested all the time. It's just not available for you right now because it's primarily in very fast engines, and in the engines that'll be duplicated to be put into cars, they'll be smaller, and they'll be kind of a cylinder type of engine that moves around in order to create that propulsion, and then those coils begin to work. There's ionized substances that you use instead of gasoline inside of that engine, and then you send electricity through the coils. It moves, it sparks the plasma energy field, and that's how it goes. But the problem right now is that when you think about electric engines in cars, you can run electricity through those engines. You can do all that stuff, but how are you going to run a plasma energy through anything that we currently have available that would go inside of a car? For the general electrics, like moving your windows up and down, is some of the problems that you had in your time frame.
Okay, it's very interesting. Thank you, Timothy. The next question is,